The Nightside Project. Finish the day happy with Ethan Millard and Alex Kirry on KSL News Radio.
Alex, I'm not going to lie. I'm glad to have you back. I will say that.
Yeah, we had the kid fishing trip last week.
Yeah. What did you catch?
Nothing. Well,
literally nothing.
Well,
or
no,
just
there was
less
like,
than.
It was less than 5. But
You were gone for a long time to catch only 5
well,
fish.
we
You
were
got all
technically
last
we were only
week.
gone for like 2.5 days.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
but
that's
then
right.
one of the days was BYU football media
That's
day.
right. So you weren't here, but you were still working.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get you. Still.
yeah. It wasn't. We didn't do a lot of catching. That's what they call it, fishing, Ethan.
Well,
They don't call it catching. You ever hear that phrase?
You know what? Let me tell you something.
We had a great time. And the funny thing is kids are so impatient, and I am too. I'm still a kid at heart when it comes to fishing. I have no patience for being like, just here we go. Ease on into that. Oh, did I get a nibble? No? Well, let me wait another hour or two and just
kids
see.
Are like, what?
No, and my kids are struggling. I mean, they're just
Well-
like, okay. And so they do the next thing. They go, okay, this fishing thing's not working out. Jump off the boat into the lake. And then you're really not going to catch any.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. So my dad grew up in a sporting family. He and his dad went fishing and hunting constantly. And so when he had his own family, we did some of those same things. We never went hunting, but he tried to get us into fishing several times. We never caught anything. And I'm not joking. And
That's
and
funny.
he'd get so into it. Yeah, we're going fishing. And you entertain it for so long, but when you just so rarely catch anything.
Yeah.
And I knew it wasn't just me. My dad wasn't catching anything either.
No, I know.
And we'd go to Rockport and we'd go to Strawberry and never catch anything. And then so I pretty much shrugged off fishing as like a thing that I might ever be interested in. And then a couple of years ago, I got invited by Rod Zundel downstairs at TV to participate in this charity fishing thing they were
Bourbon
doing
Bash.
at Strawberry Reservoir.
Oh, was that what it was?
And they had several of these boats and guides, and we all went out and did this. And when he told me it was going to be Strawberry Reservoir, I thought, oh, well, I'm not going to catch anything. I've been to Strawberry Reservoir, and I fished there a lot of times and never caught
What you found out was your dad is a horrible fisherman.
And we'd go out there and out on the boat and spend all day catching fish.
Yeah.
Just one after another.
I've been on Strawberry twice.
I-
I've been on Strawberry twice, and it was just like, okay, can we stop catching all these fish? It's like really, my hands are really starting to stink. Like that's the kind of day we'd have fishing.
I just anyway.
No, I know, dude. I grew up in Texas. We had this lake that we lived by, Grapevine Lake, man. And you walked out there, and you didn't have a reel. You didn't use a rod and reel. You used like a bamboo pole. And we were just like, it was like the cartoons where you're just, no, it just had a string on the end of this pole.
Oh.
It was like the cartoons where a guy puts the line in the water and then throws the fish behind him and then the next and then the next and then the next. It was like that. We would catch hundreds of sunfish and perch. And I think one time we saw a catfish that was like trapped in some reeds, and it was like a 12-pound catfish or something. And we put the thing in we were so proud of it that we caught it. We're like, look how giant this fish is, because all the other fish, perch are
Small,
tiny.
yeah.
And I assume that when I caught 50 fish in a day, I caught the same perch 37 times. That's really what basically you're doing. And we caught this giant catfish, and we didn't know what to do with it. So we put it in a plastic bag, and we put it in a cooler. We had a cooler that had like minimal ice in it, very minimal ice. We put it in our trunk, and then we're like, we're going to take this thing home. Our dad knows how to fillet some fish. We'll figure this out. This is my brothers and I and my sister. And we're like, all right, here we go. Hey, man, where'd you put the keys? They were locked in the trunk with the catfish. The keys were locked in the trunk with this catfish. We finally get this trunk open, and it was like scatter. Like, we dumped this catfish in the garbage can. We had to immediately
throw the cooler away with it.
And then when we moved, but during the summers, we'd go to Washington and we'd deep sea fish. My dad one time he got the catch of the day at like Nia Bay, Washington it was like a 53-pound king salmon.
Jeez.
But you didn't care because you're like, great, I was barfing on the boat half of the time out in the ocean.
Well, and
because deep sea fishing is not that rewarding.
I've been out deep sea fishing before, but it's tough. we don't have deep sea fishing around here. We have to go to the lakes and the rivers. My dad now can go to Lake Powell, and he'll go to Lake Powell.
Yeah.
And he'll come home with buckets of perch. I mean, no kidding. You know, like
Why
those
would
Home
he keep
Depot
'em?
buckets?
Why would he keep them? What does he do with them?
He fillets them, takes the tiny fillets, and makes ceviche with them.
No, he doesn't.
He takes them all in lime juice. The limes of 1,000 juices. It's really tasty.
I can't tell if Millennial Josh is like, this sounds great, or if he's like more like, this is disgusting. He loves ceviche, but not. I was gonna say
Millennial Josh's opinion on this.
What about when the ceviche that it started in a warm bucket on the drive from Lake Powell all the way up to Salt Lake City?
You put it in 80-degree water.
Oh my gosh!
All right,
what a great start. All right, what do you got over here? Little
Zen Headlines are an exclusive feature of the Nightside Project. If you're watching the video, you already know what the subject is because I've had this still shot right behind me this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Matthew Holland Sr. was just leaving an amusement park in New York State. When
somebody hanging from that?
He heard someone screaming for help. He and his daughter ran over. There was a young girl dangling about 25 feet off the ground from one of those little slow-moving gondola sky rides. He and his daughter positioned themselves underneath this girl. Her little brother's up there with her, pleading, crying. They can't hold on. And so they position themselves underneath her.
Her neck is stuck.
It was not her neck. Her neck was not stuck. And they tell her to drop. Just fall.
Just fall.
All right, they'll catch you. They'll catch you. They'll catch you, honey. Go ahead.
There she goes.
Oh, and they did. That's awesome.
She kind of falls through the end of a branch and then right down onto the ground. Isn't that incredible? She's whisked away. Some security personnel show up just right then.
And they're like, we'd like to offer you 2 free tickets to the gondola ride tomorrow.
Matthew Howard was actually taken to the hospital with some minor, hold on, I'm going to restart that, with minor back injury. He'll be okay. The girl is uninjured, and except obviously completely and totally freaked out. It's not a bad little story, is it?
I think it's pretty cool that
they got right underneath her.
Like
now,
trying to convince somebody, hey, listen. You're gonna be fine if you just let go. We'll catch you.
Well, and that girl she was in her mid-teens, so what would we say, 15?
Yeah. She looked like a teenage girl. Yeah.
Something like that.
But to have
14,
the guts
she's 14.
to have the guts to go, you know what? I'm just going to drop.
So how much do you think that girl's weighs?
Yeah, maybe 107 pounds. I mean,
still, it's 100 pounds of
that's elbows
25, and knees.
Yeah, that's
right
falling. That's just falling though, 20 feet. She's picking up some speed. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's feet first. It's not like they didn't have the old trampoline or whatever.
No. I thought it was.
But they had 6 guys there. They did a great job.
They had several people. Howard took the brunt of the fall. But, if she'd come down on her elbow or on her knee and, put it into the side of his head, that is I mean, he really put himself at risk. He really did put himself
That's why it's cool. That's why I love it. I love that people will, because I'm the kind of guy, too, that I'm like, hey, drop that baby, I'll catch him. Because if there's something I can do, I can catch a toddler.
Let's hear that moment one more time.
You go ahead and drop, sweetie.
All right, they'll catch you. They'll catch you, honey. Go ahead.
Nice job.
All the cheering. Isn't that cool? Hey, if you've got a Zen headline to share, use hashtag Zen Headlines. That's what Jack Canyon did. That's how he got this video to us. Thanks so much, Jack. Longtime listener, contributes with some frequency to the show. We thank you so much. So make sure that you do that. And, share what you see. If you see something cool,
That's
if you
right.
see one of these cool headlines, make sure you get it out there. We'll help get it out there. Make everyone's day a little better.
Hey,
Ethan Millard, KSL, Alex Kirry, KSL on Twitter.
We'll keep making the episodes. You keep downloading them. I taught some people this weekend, Ethan, how to download the podcast. It was great.
Good.
All right, we'll see you guys on the flip side.